last night, I ended up having to take a break before I had to go raid another game. And again, for the second day in a row, all night, all I could think about was Final Fantasy XIV and getting back to this story and seeing Venat's beautiful face again. I think I talked my partner's ear off about how how good Venat was and how much I loved her for at least an hour last night. Maybe more if you compile all the other mentions of how much I love her. And then I rewatched like and listened to Answers 50 times. I listened to the music video version we did. I went and just listened to the song online. This is just kind of what I'm doing right now, and I'm just sort of steeping my soul in this whole experience. I made up an official glamour plate for the ancient look so that I don't go out and spoil people. I feel like I'm prepared and ready to continue this story now. And we'll see what more emotions are in store. I didn't go cry last night, which is unfortunate because I am now out of Kleenexes. So I guess if it comes to it, I'll just rub my face on this box and get my snot all over it. So that seems fine. Oh, you know what? I've got a Twitch bandana here, so I'll use a Twitch bandana like I would a fine handkerchief to cry my tears into, the ones that I will inevitably be having again. So, another piece of the puzzle falls into place. Also, I found out that the voice actress for Venat, in English, is the same voice actress as Aveline from Dragon Age 2. That's why she sounds kind of familiar to me. From what we've learned thus far, I think we can safely conclude that Hermes hasn't been revealing the details of his research to others, which suggests that either someone will appropriate his discoveries and make use of them, or that Hermes himself will have a hand in causing the final days. Since we have no reason yet to suspect the former, we should consider the latter more likely possibility. Proceeding under the assumption our next step should be to divine why, or even if, he might desire such a terrible fate for our star. That maybe somebody did this consciously? I always just thought that it might have just been a, I don't know, natural disaster, or maybe because they had been, I don't know, maybe they were doing this thing to this star and they were creating things and destroying things and creating things and destroying things and didn't even realize that what they were actually doing was undermining something about the star that caused some issue. I don't know. But maybe it is just a specific entity that's working against him or that did this. I mean, fam, I never thought this day would come, ever. Never, ever before. Well, I mean, after a little bit, I kind of assumed that they could possibly at any time try to make me love characters that I hated, right? So, with that in mind, I guess a tiny part of myself thought maybe they would do this, but I never truly thought that the day would come where I would say, I really hope that Fanny Pack didn't cause it all, because then I would feel bad for him even more so than I already do. I mean, that would be a really terrible thing if he did that on accident. And I mean, sure, again, I guess it could give some credence to why he would just want to destroy everything, because he was so plagued by guilt and riddled by sorrow himself that he wanted others to suffer like him. But it would be a real bummer fest, you know? I should like to visit the site from which Hermes sent forth the Meteion. If we are fortunate, we might find some hint of what drives this research of his. Galeen said she spotted them in the southeast, rising from an isle she could see from the edge. If we stand at that same vantage point, it should not prove too difficult to locate the island question. Let's take a look, shall we? Yes, let's go! I did almost change Valka's hair back today. I was very close. I was like, oh, I kind of want it long and flowy because I've been looking at Venat, but I didn't, for consistency's sake. Although I'm sure in this world there could be an argument made for magic hair. Like, yes, hair can magically be grown at will, so it doesn't really matter, you know? We gotta go all the way down here. Woo! I don't know why the perspective of that ring just really delighted me. Vantage point. It's that island. Right there. Oh no, sad music. Now, if I were conducting some mystery research, where would I go? Ah, what about that one? Have you the means to fly? 'Tis quite a distance away. Not yet, I haven't done all the ether currents, because that was into the story for now. Inconvenient, but hardly an insurmountable problem. To me, Argos. Papa! Hello, beautiful friend! Of course it's Heidelind's dog! My friend, would you mind creating a double to carry Valkyria over to that island? Oh, Argos doesn't like us right now. But future Argos remembers us and has become friends with us. Oh, stubborn creature. There is no place on this great star we have not together traveled. And still he remains obstinate in the presence of strangers. Argos has rather exacting standards, I'm afraid. Argos carried me in the future and he was chill with it, so... What? You've ridden him before? Ah, your before meaning my after. Not at all confusing, that. Interesting. 'Tis certainly not unthinkable. But speaking of the here and now, the quick solution is for us to face off in a sparring match. What? Demonstrate to him that you are capable of holding your own against me in battle, and you should convince Argos that you are worthy of his back. And besides, I might even teach you a thing or two in the bargain. If there's one thing that I want with any girlfriend, it is to have incredible sparring matches together, test our strength, our mettle, you know. I'm just very flustered right now. This is my dream. You seem doubtful. But, useful lesson or not, it will certainly be a moment to remember. A memory of the distant past to cherish. What say you, traveler out of time? Is this a trial or just like a duty instance? Choose your battlefield. Since the moment she pulled the sword out, I was like, oh girl, let's spar. I admire your confidence. Clear your mind and prepare your weapons. I will await you at the clearing over yonder. Yes, 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 yes. This would be a... It feels like it would be a strange trial, right? I mean, maybe it's not. I think it's probably just a duty instance. It's gotta be just like a little duty instance. For it to be a full-fledged trial, I mean, I feel like things would have to get absolutely super ridiculously intense, right? Like, she'd have to transform, or we'd have to have, I don't know. They could make it cool, and I would be like, alright. But it's gotta just be like a little duty instance. What does Argos have to say about this? And by that I mean, what expression, what stink eye is Argos gonna give us? The entity is identical to the one you encountered in Mare Lamentorum, except this Argos is pointedly ignoring you. But we gotta prove ourselves to this dog, and it's very important. Shall we begin? Be warned, I'll not go easy on you. It's a little duty instance. I'm ready. I'm ready. Let's spar, girl. I mean, why not? It's not as if this zone hasn't already. She is a paladin! Oh, paladin and white mage reunited, and it feels so good. Oh no, now I have another idea for a new cover. This is an amazing remix. I love this. Because this is a piece of Charlian, right? I'm sorry, I'm so captivated by it. I'm trying to catch like every single lyric and commit it to memory. All right, let's do it.
Let neither side hold back.
Venat, I love you so much. Her weapons too. Whoa, what? That set is gorgeous, my body. She has a lot of damage. Both of the Azems.
My blade sings.
Sparring across space and time. She's so beautiful and majestic. I am not worthy to be near her. But here I am in her presence and I am grateful. This is amazing. I love the song. I need to listen to this on repeat. My partner was asking me, did they actually feature Paladin in any way in this expansion beyond just like the there's the Charlie. It is. Oh my gosh. But my partner was like, did they actually feature Paladin in any way in this expansion beyond just like kind of making it the poster boy for the expansion? And I was like, I don't really know. I don't think that there's one, as far as I know, that's like a major Paladin. And now we have Venat, and she's even using the different sword attacks and things.
Impressive. I shall have to try something different.
No wonder this little tidbit of music. She can do all the jobs. Oh my gosh. She's just like us.
Quarter.
Oh my gosh. I love her. I want to be her. I love her. I want to kiss her. I want to protect her. I feel like we're gonna have to kill her in the end. Or, you know, like, even if we don't kill, you know, even if we're not killing Heidelin, right? She's gotta be laid to rest at some point. Zodiark is gone. But she did her duty. Oh, I mean, I don't know nothing yet. This is amazing. This is so good. I'm so distracted, I'm not even paying attention. Oh.
I see you won't be easily overcome, but neither will I.
I learned from the best, Venat. I learned from the best. 2 white mages! What would have been truly, truly incredible is if in this one duty instance they had allowed you to change classes at will. I mean, when do we get to put down giant arrow AoEs that pulse in like a dot over time? That'd be amazing.
Prepare yourself.
Ah, it's gonna follow us, okay. Maybe we'll see some of her abilities eventually make it into White Mage. I would absolutely love that. Ah! Blood Lily! Venat, you and me, we have so much in common. I too like to harvest the blood of my allies and use it to murder my foes. Oh, she's so brilliant. Is there anything this woman can't do? Whoop. Is this gonna be like a super glare? It's stone. Well, now we see how white magic would have been in its original incarnation before the world was sundered.
Very well. Let us move to the final trial.
Venat's ether. Oh, we have to like burn this before she accumulates too much, I'm guessing. Thelema. Oh, she's combining a bunch of her abilities that she used. That animation for her is very cool. I'm guessing we just want to take these down before they actually reach her because she will get more ether if we don't. She is so amazing. Oh, these are different kinds of love! Agape, pure love. Ah, I wonder what Thelema is. I don't know that one. Is it possible to love someone this much? I thought I knew because, you know, I got married and I'm very grateful about that. I thought, oh geez, that's what love is. But now I've met Venat, and now I think I know what real love is. Sorry, Bebo. Bebo is basically as good as Venat, but, no one tell Bebop, okay? Here's the thing, though. Do you see how radiant this woman is? Do you see how radiant this woman is? This woman... We don't deserve her, none of us. None of us deserve this woman. But here we are.
Break your chains, shed your burdens, and show me your strength of will.
What is this? Is this her special? Her, like, incantation? Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! She uses all sorts of different weapons and things. I should have died!
People of your time are more resilient than I had dared hope. I've seen enough.
I barely did a stand at the end. Barely, my friend. My wife. My equal. My companion. My mentor. My Heidelin. My Lady of Light. That was so good. Oh my gosh, I hope we get to use her ability at some point. That was incredible. Future limit breaks.
Finish it, but clearly I underestimated you.
Future limit breaks, like Limit Break 4, ancient incantations. That would be phenomenal. Oh my gosh. Well, Venat, you trained me yourself. So, I might not remember all of it.
I made the same mistake with Azam when we first sparred. Despite being less than half my age, her strength was astounding.
I love a good older woman. Venat, you have aged like a fine wine, and by that I mean you look like you are perfect and youthful and wonderful. Oh, not that perfect should be an ideal that anybody should have to live up to, but I mean you are perfect to me, in my eyes, and my heart. You are amazing. Flaws and all, everything.
As is yours. 'Tis plain you have weathered considerable hardship. Far more even than your tales would suggest. It seems we have both learned much on our journeys.
I can't, my whole screenshot folders just give me pictures of her face. And I'm okay with it. That's fine with me. Aw, Dog loves us now. Thanks, Doggo. Oh, it would absolutely gut me if there does actually, like...
I dare say he is warmed to you.
If there does actually end up being some kind of Heidelin fight, if there's any reference in that fight about us sparring together, or at the end she's like, I'm glad we got to have one last spar, it's gonna not be beautiful. I'm gonna tell everybody that right now. I'm gonna snot everywhere, I'm gonna cry, and it's gonna be ugly crying, and it's not gonna be anything that anyone wants to experience or remember watching me do it, but it will be something that happens.
A boon to be sure. He never forgets his favorites, and is ever eager to come to their aid.
Oh. You're the goodest, most beautiful boy. Goodest, most beautiful boy. You floofy Afghan hound. I wonder, it's interesting to me that they chose, I mean, I'm guessing that they are basing Argos off of an Afghan hound. And I'm curious about what made that, like, what that decision was. If they just liked the dog, if there was something else that went into the design. Normally, here in the States, we would imagine something like a golden retriever, which is kind of the, like, iconic go-to breed, which is kind of similar here with the color and things, but I mean, Afghan hounds are just gorgeous. They're really good dogs from what I know, although I've actually never met one. Argos will soon have us standing on the very spot where the Meteion made their departure into the night sky. With luck, we will learn something of Hermes' intentions. My hope is that we find no connection, no festering wish for oblivion. Then we might have Hermes and his considerable expertise working for us rather than against us. Yeah, well, later he will very much want for oblivion, and it is gonna be a disaster, and it's gonna be a real serious bummo. It's gonna be a bummo. It's gonna be a big old bummo up in here. Let us move over to the edge before mounting, shall we? That will allow Argos to catch the currents rising up from below, and give us a smooth ride over to the isle. Ba-ba-na-na. Okay, let's go. Let's go, I guess. Now I really am curious. Okay, this is just dawned on me because we were talking about the extreme primal mounts and like the mega mounts and everything earlier. But now I'm super curious what the mounts this go around are gonna be. If they don't theme them to something with the expansion, I'm gonna be sad. But like, what could you do? Good boys? We already had wolves. So you can't really just do dogs, I guess. Rabbits? I guess maybe you could do rabbits, but everybody always wants it to be something kind of cool, you know what I mean? So, turtles. I've heard people talk about turtles, and I like turtles, but again, it's tough. It's tough to pick. Climb onto Argos's back and we can be off. You know, I honestly cannot remember the last time he carried anyone but me. Argos motions to his back with his muzzle. You've been given the go-ahead to hop on. It's always important to ask permission before you get on your mount. Okay, and once again, much like me and Ishtola, I'm gonna just take a million pictures. We just get in here, just me and Venat, doing our thing. Best friends, girlfriends across time. And we can get a bit more of a dog's eye view from up here. Now, what was the name of that tree? No way? Something, no way? Oh, is it in my log? Ah, it is. Noetophorian. Oh, quite a striking specimen, isn't it? Is that? Now, I always assumed that Lakeland was bleached because of, it's kind of like an infrared effect, and I assumed that they did that. Brace yourself for the landing. I wouldn't want you tumbling off at the last moment. I always assumed that they were purple like that because, you know, the light had bleached it or was like draining and the ether was shifting, which I think is still very possible, but maybe there are just trees there that are purple like that, and I didn't even think about it.
Quite a small place, lacking even the most basic equipment.
Maybe there's something invisible to the eye here? Something pertaining to Akasha?
The present may yield no clues, but we may yet try perusing the past. Have you done this before?
What? Is this the echo?
So you cannot control the power freely. Worry not. I shall assist you.
Ah, it was. So then maybe it was just an art form from the past, as opposed to being some kind of side effect of
Come and stand before me.
Us having thinner ether and being able to access Akasha.
There are two ways to see the past. The first entails peering through the walls of the soul in the moment a subject is recalling a memory.
Which we do,
The
echo
second
style.
requires no subject, and is instead a process of piecing together an event from ripples left in the ambient ether. As memories are etched upon the ether of the soul, so too are they etched upon the ether of the world. In this way can history be preserved.
Don't mind me while I just take a ton of pictures during this, because I gotta, you know, my girlfriend and I are on a date in a flower field, so I've got to just take a lot of pictures to remember this forever for all time, so. But I am paying attention, I promise.
Such memories are given to fading, however, and can prove challenging to visit.
But that could maybe explain why the star shower and things, like,
But
left an
come,
impression on everybody.
Let us try. Close your eyes.
And it etched on the individual souls, but maybe it's also something in the world itself. Are we gonna be able to control this power more freely because we were taught how to use it?
All units fully functional and proceeding on course towards their respective stars.
Amazing.
Estimated time to completion of survey is 108 cycles.
Hold up a minute. Omega? No. I mean, we do know that Omega caused calamity, right? On the Dragon Star, the Dragon's original home. And it seems as though it is reporting back in a manner that's not unlike Meteion, right? But from what we've seen of Omega, it looks very, very, very different than them, but maybe it would have encountered one of them or something?
End of status report. Severing connection with shared consciousness.
I'm just trying to bring together every single thread and weave it all into one big thing.
Did you hear that, Hermes? All is well.
I mean, good. Seeing other stars, good. Distant future horizons we might get to visit.
Every step of the way, I've been reminded how little we understand creation. How the universe defies imagination.
But soon we won't need to speculate. We'll know the answers. What others live for.
Indeed. And we'll owe it all to you and your sisters.
I'm torn between loving the voice they gave Meteion and hating the voice they gave Meteion. Sometimes it's very good. Sometimes I think it goes a little bit too squeaky.
Whatever intelligent beings that exist out there are bound to be vastly different from us.
Oh, don't even get me started on sci-fi. Final Fantasy's already got me started on sci-fi, but now I'm just like, yes, to the stars we go.
Diverse in form and culture. Possessed of unique ways of thinking.
I would love if we discovered aliens at some point in our lifetime, but I'll settle for it in Final Fantasy as well.
Elpis will be no exception. Completely and utterly unlike ours.
That's maybe why I love the dragon so much.
Utterly unlike. How?
I have no idea.
Hermes is like, that's why I'm doing it. I'm curious. I want to know.
Yet whatever answers we receive, I will not dismiss them out of hand. No. I will think earnestly on them all. And I will share them with our people. That together we may contemplate our own existence.
So far, he's just
Perhaps
being
then
a
our
good
star will
boy.
become a better place. Not only for man, but for all life.
Fanny pack? Why? How? Why? There has to be a connector from point A to point B in this, right?
Though I gave you wings to soar the heavens, I did not teach you how to walk the earth. So loath was I to bind another living being.
I mean, we could kind of guess from Ammon in his lifetime, you know, and that when those memories got put into him, it didn't cancel out his life. But gosh, jeez.
In the course of your long journey, you will learn from those you meet. Learn to walk and run and so much more. And when you return, older and wiser, we will have a celebration to mark your homecoming and coming of age both.
So this little friend went out into space?
Will there be apples? Covered in syrup?
Oh, please don't make me kill Meteion, and if so, please let me feed Meteion an apple before the end.
And how are you supposed to eat them?
You just, I don't know, you just make them in, you suck all the ether out of us.
Rather than food, perhaps...
You can eat my joy.
a flower. Yes. Upon your return, I will gift you a beautiful flower.
Oh. Or maybe that's why Hydaelyn gave us the flower? I don't know.
So, what is your opinion?
I mean, they do not seem evil. Their intentions, at least, were pure, but... Hermes is a gentle soul, and yet... I mean, I agree. I don't think this Hermes right now would wish for the final days. You know what I mean? There's just, like, nothing that shows that. There's nothing that makes it seem like that would be something. But... So I guess we go middle? I guess we go middle. Hermes is a gentle soul, and yet...
I understand. He is a gentle soul, and well-intentioned. Yet it does not take ill intent to beget ill.
Yeah, I mean, he just might not know what he's doing.
The possibility that something may have gone awry. Perhaps it was oversight, or simply an accident.
That's all I can guess. Or that he just didn't know what he was messing with, or he didn't understand what he was doing, or...
In light of this, I propose that we reveal your tale to Hermes himself.
But what if this is what makes him
If he does not
evil?
wish for the final days, as we believe, he may well join us in pursuing a solution.
What if he burdens himself so much with guilt thinking that he did it, that he does it somehow? This is worrisome for me. I mean, yes, I mean, we can trust, right?
Then it is settled. Let us seek out our friend with all swiftness.
One more quick picture of Hydaelyn
It would
smiling.
not do to let such a pure soul be blackened by tragedy.
Yes, but we know we supposedly can't change anything, but I really hope we can change everything. Not like everything, because we still need our friends to be there, right? But maybe there's some contingency we put into place that we didn't realize. Maybe there's... I feel like this isn't going to be the case, and that we're going to see how things went wrong, and then we're going to be back to where we were, but... Dang it if this part of the game isn't giving me hope that we might be able to change something. There are any number of places where Hermes might be in Elpis. But we could do worse than to look in Katisa's Hyperborea, the largest facility. It stands in Ethoselic... I made it through the first one so good. It stands in Ethoselitikos Boreas, the Northern Isle. I wonder, Valka, for an institution which claims to studiously research every species destined for release into the world, did you not question how they find room for them all on so few islands? The answer lies within Katisis itself. I touched upon the practice before back at the archives, where a vast area is stitched together out of multiple conceptual spaces. The same holds true for the interior of this facility and its magically constructed environs. 'Tis there, within those sprawling habitats, that the chief overseer and most of Elpis's observers conduct the bulk of their work. Come, the simplest route is via the teleporter north of Poetin Oikos. The different ways that I will pronounce all of these words will be varied. There will be many different iterations of them until I eventually, presumably, do some kind of lore video about this zone, and then I have to look up all the old pronunciations of them. Until then, thank you for your understanding and your patience. Poieton Oikielos Oikilos. I thought that was an NPC for a second. That was just naked. Doing some mining. I was like, wow, you don't have magic for that? I would have thought. Soon I will get to all of you side quests, but not right now. This way, I think. Because it's another teleporter, right? Yes. Ethoseleticos. Ethoseleticos! That sounds a little bit more like a thing. That rolls off the tongue a little bit more. Motes of light yet hang in the air, suggesting the device was but recently activated. Let's go! Hi, friend. Ah, good. The teleporter acknowledged you as my guest. You should now have the authority to use it as you wish. As for the way to Katisis Hyperborea, we follow this path, then turn left at the crossroads. I don't get to do a follow walk with her and have her tell me about her whole life story and her hopes and her dreams and everything, and her relationship to us in the past? Maybe soon. Wait. Why does it show me a flower upon your return? Why does it... Like, that's the mark... I'm gonna keep going. Because that's the marker as though it was a follow quest, right? Like, as though we did have somebody that was following us and that's where they would reset and you have to pick them up again? But it's also telling me that I can just go here. So I'm guessing maybe it's just because it was something... Like, you know, that's a little marker to tell you which zone or thing you need to take through or something. Big old chocobo. Oh no, can't you move your chocobo, friend? Your bird's butt is in the way. Ooh. It's extra mysterious because of all the fog right now. And again with the music. Here we are, the grandest research facility in Elpis. We should head inside and ask after Hermes' whereabouts. Hermes is at another facility. Emitselk? Either that or Hythlodius. Probably Hythlodius, right? He'd be the first to talk. Hermes is at another facility, as we have just discovered. Yeah, there's our boys. We had a little fight, but now we're gonna make up, I think. Maybe, or they're gonna keep doing their own thing. Furthermore, we've confirmed that his studies into Dynamis, as well as his creation of Meteion, were entirely private pursuits. No one else we spoke with appeared to possess the chief's depth of knowledge on the subject, and neither did we hear any tales of stolen research, which means that if Hermes himself harbors no desire to bring down an apocalypse, then he might be recruited to help prevent one. We arrived at the exact same conclusion! Or so saith the illustrious Emitselk. You believe us now? Yeah, that's right, stinky boy! According to your story, the 14 divined the connection between the celestial current and the final days, but were never able to pinpoint the root cause of the calamity. With our people's greatest minds, not to mention Hythlodius' sharp eyes, committed to the pursuit of a solution, such an outcome seems inconceivable. The only possible explanation is if the nature of the catalyst was so inexplicable that even we failed to perceive it. And what better fits that description than the invisible, intangible Dynamis? Which in turn leads us to our next question. How did Hermes, in his role as Fandaniel, not recognize the subject of his own research? We must assume that he either knew and was unable to help, or that he was otherwise prevented from identifying the cause in the first place. At this juncture, all we can do is speculate. To be clear, the Convocation does not tolerate acts of deception or malice. We are practiced at perceiving truth, and would have known had Fandaniel lied to us. Hermes has no conscious wish for the world to end. Of that, I am certain. Venat's like, we knew it. Yeah, I told you so. We told you so, but... Oh, I'm so great that you arrived at that conclusion, huh, boyfriends? It seems there is more to the tale after all. We conducted an investigation of our own, you see. Collaboration! Bring all the clues together. Let's solve it. Let's figure something out. How comforting. We seem to have reached the exact same conclusion. I see no reason to delay further. 'Tis time we brought Hermes into the fold, as it were. Thank you for your understanding. Save your thanks. I did not say I believed your ridiculous story. But as Emmett Selk, I have a duty to examine any potential threat to our existence, no matter how ludicrous or personally offensive I may find it. Yeah, you believe us! You believe us, Emmett! You can see Hythlodius is in the background like, yeah, hee hee hee. Yeah, I know you. Do not approach me, do not speak to me, and do not dare presume to treat me as a friend. I am merely carrying out my duty. Emmett, you gonna come round! So help me before we leave this island, I'm gonna make you look at me like we friends or you love me. It's gonna happen. How lovely. Our married duo has become a quartet. Now, I'm not saying that this is confirmation of what I said earlier, that we were a quartet, but I'm gonna take it as that. And that's my prerogative. I'm allowed to. Past the disagreements are no reason to reject collaboration in the here and now. I commend Emmett Selk for his practicality. I think the time for leisurely exploration is past. If I might have a moment to adjust my vision. There he is. On the next isle over. Meteion is with him. Hermes appears to be in the midst of an observational study, but I suggest we hurry over before they venture elsewhere. Head straight down the path. We can teleport to Meteion from the device at the bottom of the slope. I'm also level 89 at this point. I think I'm technically in the 87 quest still? Is that where we're at? Let me see real quick. Yeah, 87 quests still, but I am technically at 89 right now, so we're very close to getting our Lilybell at long last for White Mage. We were just talking on Aetherite Radio about the fact that White Mage doesn't really feel like we got a whole lot of new stuff. A lot of the things we got are really nice, right? But it's not like the class has been overhauled, revolutionized. I haven't really noticed, you know, each new thing as though I'm kind of going like, oh wow, new ability. It's just nice. I'm like, oh yeah, great. 2 charges, cool. Aquavamp, alright, that's pretty good. But Lilybell is one that I'm actually really excited to get because I do think, especially in endgame stuff, that's going to be, I mean, it is a new thing that you can use in your kit and it's something fun to get to play around with. Also, it just looks neat, and I must stand by that. Meteion is interesting in that it is the only region in Elpis which lacks a researcher hub. This is largely due to the nature of its observation sites, within which they let loose creatures anticipated to be unruly and dangerous. I have also heard tell that the area is kept deliberately sparse in the event of that. Well, let us just say that no one should live near the teleporter which provides access to a certain facility. What? You expect me to praise you and your progress? On the contrary, I'm simply surprised you made it this far. Then again, even with you slowing her down, there is no denying that Venat is an accomplished researcher. Her wealth of wisdom and experience is unmatched, and her achievements in creation magics, in any field, frankly, are nothing short of extraordinary. Though the singular brilliance which sets her apart can make her motives somewhat impenetrable at times. As her student and successor puts it, she is a force of nature, at once so close and at the same time so very distant. That was an incredible little piece of dialogue. And also you can see that Azem and Emmett Selk clearly confide and talk with each other. They are close by, within the Hungering Gardens. That would be the circular enclosure you see just up ahead. Well then, Valka, make yourself useful and bring Hermes out here to us. If I were to go, he would only assume I was there to press him on the Fandaniel matter. Of all of us present, you stand the best chance of convincing him to put aside his work in the moment. But the creations in there are not exactly... Oh, then again, perhaps Valka can handle them. She did survive a bout with Venat, after all. Off you go to find Hermes, but do be prepared to come to blows with the garden's denizens. Meteion is interesting. Oh, this is what she already said. It's the same thing. You got anything else for us, Hythlodius? Or Hythlodaeus? Someone needs to go into the Hungering Gardens to speak with Hermes, and it seems Emet-Selch has nominated you for the task. Whoa, what are those big things? Oh, ah! Okay, yeah, I would say this looks like a Hungering Garden. That is what I would say. This is where all the Morbles and the horrifying reskins. Actually, it's funny because we do see one of these, the Riotous Morble. We see something like this in, I think it is Academia a Nighter? I mean, whoever made this probably had a great time coming up with it. But young baby Sprout me is like, ah, we could have done without that one. Who got him? Oh, it is spicy up in here. He could be anywhere in here? What is he doing testing Meteion in this area? Try to just make sure that she can survive if she goes to an alien planet? Oh, that's some funky mushrooms. I do like the idea that they almost create these sort of interdimensional spaces. It also kind of gives some, I don't know, interesting credence to the illusion that Emet-Selch would make. Or the idea that maybe there was this, you know, period of time where they were able to create passageways into pockets of, you know, these different ethereal landscapes or creations that they had. What if our whole world has just been one big illusion this whole time? I don't think they'd do that. I don't think they'd do that. That would sort of undercut all the stakes of the calamity, you know? Valkyga? Where did you come from? Valka, what are you doing here? I thought you were keeping Hythodius and Emet-Selch company. An important matter, and unrelated to my decision on Fandaniel, you say? Then yes, I will come, as soon as my work here is finished. It will not be long, I promise, but you should really wait outside the garden with the others. This is no place for idle exploration. You needn't be concerned for our safety. Meteion and I are protected by a ward which conceals our presence from the creatures. Oh, so they're just like hanging out in here? Seems like, yeah, this is a pretty chill place if you just want to hang out, have a good time, relax, kick back. We couldn't draw him away from his research, but we did let him know that we're here at least. I'm gonna try and avoid these. Oh, there's somebody fighting this one? Oh, I can't go by and not help. That's not the kind of person I am. It makes it faster for everybody. Alright, we got our dots on them. There you go, friends. Have fun in your story quests. Let's run! Oh, geez, there's more! Saving the world. One enemy spawn at a time. Oh, this way. Oh, there's that pretty sky again. Ah. There has to be some kind, like there's gotta be a dungeon. I still think that one dungeon has to be here somewhere. So I'm curious about how they're gonna get us to that. What they're gonna do with it. I was prepared to swoop in if need be, but 'tis clear you've faced your fair share of monstrous opponents. What is that ghastly odor? You did this to me, Emet-Selch. You spoke with Hermes, then? And were briefly entangled with the denizens of the Hungering Gardens as well, I see. Or should I say, smell. I cannot speak for certain Convocation members, but I for one am impressed with your fortitude. Well done indeed. Now that you've convinced Hermes to confer with us, let us pray that things will soon take a turn for the better. For as fascinating as it would be to meet the Emmet Selk who would recreate Amarat in the depths of the ocean, I think it best for all concerned if such tragic events never came to pass. Be it in our future or your past, assuming yours is not truly written in stone, naive hope that it is. I know, I hope so too! I mean, it's like, I don't want to invalidate the path that we've taken so far, right? And I don't think it would, because I think the emotional beats are all still very much there. I really do think that, like, it did happen. Those stakes were real, right? So to now have taken all of that journey and then to have everything we knew kind of subverted in a sense, but, like, not completely redirected in some sense, I do think that would be really exciting. I think they've done such a great job with this story that it would feel really exciting and not just be like a, oh my gosh, why did they do that kind of thing? Hermes said he would not be long, yes. Then we shall wait here until he emerges. Hey, Hermes, so here's the thing. I'm from the future, and... oh gosh, is he just not gonna emerge? Okay, he did. I thought we were gonna have to go, like, chase him down or something, and it turned out he was secretly evil the whole time.
My apologies for keeping you waiting. I understand there is a matter you wish to discuss.
Yeah, hey, so... how do you just tell someone that?
A matter of the utmost gravity, if one can suspend disbelief.
I like that Emmett is just staunchly telling us, I don't believe in this, but is also actually defending or bringing forth what we've told.
Go on, then. Tell him what you told us. Who you are, and why you came.
Okie dokie. I actually think that he'd be more likely to like, actually believe us or trust us. I mean, Emmett Selk, I think, does believe us because, again,
days.
We are kind of his M, but... or maybe by doing this, we somehow led to the final days.
Star-encompassing calamities is likely the product of a dynamis reaction. And none is more versed in the applications of this energy than you, Hermes.
So what do you think?
I must stress that we do not believe you would desire such destruction. We come not to lodge accusations, but to beg your wisdom.
We think you're a good boy, we all decided this, so...
though the exercise may be, I ask that you share with us your opinion on the matter. On the assumption that our visitor's tale is true.
Venat's just going for it.
Even you, Venat.
Yeah, look.
As you say, the phenomena observed in the two calamities may both be attributed to dynamis.
But how? How does it make this happen?
Of note is the difference in its effect. In the first final days, it warped creation magics. In the second, it warped the people themselves.
Which, to me, that would indicate that the people themselves were born of creation magics, right? And that the different evolutions in the different people came from the fact that ethereally, like we saw with, like, the breeding of the snake boys, right? That, like, evolution, in a sense, and ethereal balances would have shifted over time. But, I mean, we don't really know, right?
The key variable, I suspect, is the etheric density of the men of each age.
Or that as well. Us being thinner.
As you know, ether, in essence, negates dynamis.
Oh, I see. I see.
Harboring high concentrations of ether, we ancients cannot readily manipulate dynamis, nor be manipulated by it. Therefore, rather than ourselves, the calamity affected our magics. In contrast, having been sundered, the people of the future are composed of but a fraction of our ether.
So they themselves are more susceptible to it. Interesting.
Thus are they susceptible
It makes sense,
to the
it makes
influence
sense.
of dynamis, and its transformative potential. But that would explain only the mechanism, not the cause. Though perhaps...
Okay, we are still putting pieces together, and that's all that matters.
What is it? Even should it be a hypothesis, we would hear it.
Dynamis is an energy put in motion by feelings. Feelings for which there must first exist a source.
Okay.
A source
Yes.
to which the victims must be attuned. One that harbors the self-same negative emotions. Elsewise, it could not be the agent of such extreme change.
So some kind of entity that also feels great despair, suffering.
So it wasn't the stagnation of the celestial currents. Someone, or something, is instigating the star's demise.
Final boss! Would be my guess.
So, we've a villain on our hands after all. Any idea who or what it could be?
The celestial currents comprise the outermost layer of the star's ether, encasing it like a protective sphere. According to your tale, it was where the currents were weakest that the phenomena first manifested. If the inciting factor came from without Aetheris, then its effects would first be seen in those locations.
Came from without Aetheris. So some kind of force beyond our planet that is doing this to people? Something like out in space that's doing it, and actually, I guess Aetheris or Hydaelyn has been protecting people from it with its sort of composition, which is why, I mean, I guess that makes sense. That would be why Midgardsummer would have chosen this place, right? He said it's the last bastion of hope. So the last place that would not succumb to this kind of thing?
Greetings. Can you hear me?
Oh no!
Do not be alarmed. I mean you no harm.
Oh, it definitely does! Is Omega tied to this at some point?
Share your feelings. Know your thoughts. May we please be friends?
Oh no! Oh, this is so much worse than I thought it would ever be! I didn't think it was gonna be some kind of space alien!
Scheduled task. Suspending individual self and connecting to shared consciousness.
I thought that it would be something from, like, on this planet!
Status report.
We have no idea what this thing could be! We have, like, literally no conception of it! Oh, this isn't good! This isn't good! Ooh!
So cold. So sad. I don't understand. Make it stop.
What is this? Oh, Meteion! No, no, baby, no!
Steady, Meteion. Steady.
So scared. So lonely. The pain. It's too much.
Did Meteion, like, pass this on to Hermes or something?
Why? Why do we? They hurt.
Oh my god!
This is wrong. All wrong.
What was that? No, Meteion!
Gone? But how?
No, my baby, my friend! I was gonna eat candy apples with you! What evil aliens are out there?
In order to blend in with her surroundings. An ability for avoiding confrontation.
Oh great, she can also just go invisible, great. So if they do turn out to be corrupted or made evil by whatever this entity is that they encountered, well great, then yeah, we're in a good place, huh?
Effective. Frustratingly so. I can't see her either. Not even a trace.
My mind is racing right now. As it has been for pretty much the last 10 hours straight. There's an... Okay, let me just parse everything really fast. There is a terrible, sad, despairing, hateful, spiteful space alien group of aliens that is out beyond the star, that the currents of the dynamis here on our star has been affected by. But our own ether and our own celestial currents have been protecting us from this, possibly to a much later point than other planets that fell to it. This is what I'm thinking, right? Is Omega connected to that? Is that why we saw Omega in the trailer? Was Omega corrupted by it? And that's why Omega flushed the dragons off of their homeworld and they came here. Is there something Omega can tell us about it? Oh my gosh, I have so many questions. All of our little girls, our little bird peoples, went out and made contact with it, and that's maybe why our star came of note to it. Okay, we're gonna keep going. Also,
Wait. Please. This is wrong. My mistake. So please.
it's not your mistake. Tell us what's happening so we can help you. I gotta save all my baby birds!
In your mind? No. We only heard her speak the instant before she vanished.
Of course. When communicating without words, Meteion also employs dynamis.
Which means that we can communicate with her while the others can't.
That will explain why you were able to hear her, when we could not.
Then you are our best chance of finding her. Follow her voice and try to track her down.
We gotta save her, we gotta help her!
Let us split up and search as well.
I mean, this isn't unusual, right? In a Final Fantasy game, or, I mean, in just about anything. Oh my gosh, it makes me think of, like, Chrono Trigger as well. It makes me think of some of the earlier Final Fantasies, where there is some kind of just, like, cosmic malevolent force. Some kind of big evil thing that, Oh, jeez. Okay, alright, we're just looking for her. And I'm wondering if there's any relevance to the parallel between, like, we saw the Sin Eaters, right, with, like, the tears down their cheeks being consumed and their ethereal balance being corrupted. I think they probably just reused that as a means of, I mean, it's just so effective. It looks so effective, right? It could be that it is some kind of thing that's corrupting, I guess, this other force, Dynamis itself, right? If I cannot perceive her ether, what else have I to offer but my rousing support? Oh, Hermes truly is a master of his craft. And did Hermes get corrupted by this force? And that, or like his soul or something? You calm your mind. Your sense is questing for any hint of Meteion's presence. It's not gonna be here, it's gonna be at like the farthest point. I know it will be, they always do this. You failed to hear her voice, she must be elsewhere. Are we going underneath or up above? I don't know, I'm gonna come down here. Because they had us go up above before, it feels like it would make sense for us to go underneath this time around, but... maybe not. Because it does look like we are getting out of the search radius when we come down here. Okay. But I can go back up on this side. Oh, ancient aliens! But it would tie so much together! It would tie so much together! Oh, it's that side actually that we have to go to. Oh, I'm angry that it would tie so much together. And yet I'm happy. You know, it's like, oh, this thing that would be beyond our ken. Although I guess the hints are there with something like Omega. I guess, like we kind of put together earlier, it makes sense too, with the way that even Meteion was speaking and what we hear from Omega. I mean, like, I just cannot imagine that they wouldn't tie Omega into this. If they're talking about some kind of outside force that other creatures would have been fleeing from, like dragons, right? Dragonkind, which would have come here, and our star being the last hope, it feels like it has to be ancient aliens. Ancients and ancient aliens. The TV show was right the whole time. But what it is, what it could mean, I don't know. I have no idea. And maybe that's a good thing. They have truly surprised me. I mean, it's so fun too because I really do. I like coming up with things and thinking about things in the moment, putting together the pieces they've given me and actively trying to search back through. What did we have in the game? What dialogue can I remember? What lore mentioned? How have they tied things together? Even if you're horribly, egregiously wrong in the end, or you're proven wrong in the next sentence, right? The fact that it engages your mind and that there's so much to kind of work with and theorize with it's the trademark of a really well-built game with a really built lore. And yet they continue to surprise us, which is amazing too. I've strained my senses to their limits, but found nothing. You must calm your mind, that you might hear it, that you might feel her silent voice. Hear, feel, think? Is that why she says that to us? You calm your mind, your senses questing for any hint of Meteion's presence. But you failed to hear her voice! Okay. It could be that within this circle, you have like 3 random encounters that pop up so that no matter where you are, it's not like you're gonna... I think it could also be fixed locations, I don't really know. We didn't hear her. The circle does extend out here, but I don't see anything. Does it go up onto... It does go up onto the walkway, so it's possible. That's where Hythlodius was. We're at the very edge. Here's Hermes! Meteion, where are you? Please answer me! What has happened to you, to your sisters? I mean, it could very well be that even though Hermes instigated what would be a return of the final days, that Hermes also somehow managed to save the star, in a sense, right? By doing this, by sensing it before we ever even knew what it was, by lending his aid here and now. Oh. Aha! Suspicious disturbance. You calm your mind. Your senses questing for any hint of Meteion's presence. We gonna find her this time. We gonna find her this time. It seeps into my mind. Our voices reporting. No, no. Hermes mustn't hear them. I have to run, to hide. Meteion's anguished voice grows distant as the source seems to flee down the slope. You don't have to let Hermes hear it, but let me hear it. I'm strong enough. We can do this. We can take whatever this is. What is this entity gonna be? I wonder if they knew this when they did the Omega raids, or if they decided retroactively to tie it in. One thing that always stood out to me from those raids was the fact that in that final fight, MF, right? The designs in that fight for them have that classic Final Fantasy art style. And I was really excited they did it at the time. I didn't think that much about it. But now in retrospect, I'm like, did they know? Were they going to make this something where, again, it ties into this bigger thing? And I have no idea. You strain to catch even the faintest whisper, but fail to hear Meteion's voice. She must be elsewhere. Okay. There are these rocks in the middle, this kind of rock cluster. She could be somewhere around the edges, too. We'll see, we'll see, we'll see. Okay, over here. It's pretty there in the middle, though. I know things are real bad right now, but that is pretty over there. I think we found her. Okay. Oh, is this like the entity that's possessed her? Greetings and salutations. Commencing report. I mean, oh my gosh, I'm just getting so many. The tear thing, right? But also, I mean, I think that some of those sin eaters do something like this. They have like the wing, you know? I'm trying to remember in my head. Oh no, we can't tell them that. We must run far away. Meteion, just tell me. I have to know. I have to know to save us all. Please, don't follow me. Meteion's anguished voice fades as you sense her climbing to the top of the ridge. Give me the report! Everybody underestimates us. They have since the get-go. They've given us fetch quest upon fetch quest. They've made fun of how thin our ether is. But we are stronger than anybody knew. We can hear this report. Maybe this is what causes the sound? Do you think that would be it? That this report or whatever happens makes the planet cry out in anguish? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I think we need to... Hold on. Okay, alright. I think we just kind of take this long way around this ridge here. And then we're going to kind of get up on a place. And then we're going to get to the next quest. I literally... My mount speed needs to be quadrupled with the story being like this. I need it to be quadrupled so that I can go as fast as humanly possible. Here's our suspicious disturbance again. My little baby bird! You strain to catch even the faintest whisper, but you fail to hear. Okay. Emmett! Ugh, this is an exercise in futility. You have to be the one to find her, Valka. Follow her voice. And these big boys. I'm still delighted by this zone, even as I am currently experiencing an inner crisis, and my palms are getting all sweaty because I'm just so like, what is gonna happen next? How did it come to this? Is this the reason we traveled to the stars? Why we sought out other life forms? Is this it? Is this the answer? No, it cannot be! It cannot be! Meteion's anguished voice drifts away to the south. Meteion, stand still. I need the story and I need it now. A blue tree! Oh, I want blue trees. I like when trees are fun colors. Again, it's the little fantasy touches. Oh my god, girl done run so far away. Yeah, we'll make our Amaro run for us. Aha, there's one, but it's probably going to be the second one that we see. Oh, I don't know, suspicious disturbance. Ah, she must be somewhere else, okay. Oh, they were out of the radius, so maybe we need to go over and up. They might be setting us up to have some kind of very good backdrop for this. Moving us across the map. Oh, yeah, yeah, what? Big trees? Yeah. Okay, okay. Compiling report for dissemination to Hermes and all peoples of Aetheres. Processing expedition data. Preparing profiles on intelligent civilizations. Formulating answers to the question. Finalizing report. No, Valka, you mustn't listen! Stand still! I know you don't want to tell us. I know you don't. It's wrong. It's all wrong. Meteion's anguished voice. Okay, we're bringing everybody together now. All right. Any sign of Meteion? Panicked and confused, which will make it all the more difficult to predict her movements. Hermes, what do you make of this situation? The Meteor are linked to a single mind, a shared consciousness which connects them across any distance. I suspect something has happened which disrupted its usual harmony. How might we access this shared consciousness of theirs? Much as you would approach any sentient being, directly. In the Meteor's case, that means speaking to an incarnation within physical reach. So, unless we can track down the Meteion we just lost, we have no means to communicate with them. No way of knowing what befell her sisters. No way to provide directions or guidance. Then we had best set our musings aside and concentrate on how we might find her. Tinfoil hats off, business time, only thing we can do right now. That looked like Hermes had an idea for a second, right? A frantic search will avail us little. We must be clever about this. 'Tis a shame there is no registered concept we could use to create another Meteion. Assuming, of course, we could link her to the shared mind, but... oh no, if it were a viable solution, Hermes would have surely suggested it. In the final days, Aether is twisted by the invasion of Dynamis from beyond the star, its progress intensified by feelings of fear and despair and anguish. Nay, I like not the picture which emerges with these last pieces. Oh, my dear Meteion, what did you witness out there that frightened you so? Why did you seek to keep it from us? How terrible could it possibly be? I mean, it feels like at this point, even if our past hasn't changed, right? Maybe with the knowledge that they had, the only way that they could foresee a way to save the star was through making the things happen that happened. Which is why MSQ put on such a grand production and literally has all these, like, play Shakespearean references, right? Maybe, I don't know, though. It really seems like they were fighting from a place of conviction. My apologies. We should focus on the task at hand. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Meteion renders herself invisible by matching her etheric density to that of her surroundings, does she not? If so, could we not then disrupt her concealment with a surfeit of ether, much how MSQ solidified your presence when we first met you? Don't be absurd, I can hardly channel ether to a recipient whose whereabouts are hidden from me. Which is why we must all work together. Valka will continue the search in the same manner as before, but this time with you in tow. Once she ascertains Meteion's likely location, you proceed to reveal our wayward familiar with a swift ethereal downpour. Very clever, and thankfully she has made herself easier to capture by fleeing towards Lethe. Assuming she is made visible, it should prove no great feat to herd her into a corner. Then we have our plan. Valka and MSQ will be our tracker and trapper, respectively, while we others predict and obstruct Meteion's avenues of escape. MSQ and I will keep an eye on each other's ether to help coordinate our efforts. Let us be about it. Well, it seems we are partners for the time being. Let us return to where we last saw Meteion and pick up the trail from there. I will keep myself in a state of preparedness, ready to rain down ether at a moment's notice, meaning it falls to you to keep the way clear. Such beautiful words I've never heard. MSQ is now accompanying you. I will never leave him behind. Not unless given no other recourse or option. Oh, okay. What does he have to say to us? Now, did Meteion go straight ahead towards the pier, or did she stray away from the path somewhere? As the only one who can hear her voice, you will need to take the lead. I like how MSQ's like, I will keep myself in a constant state of readiness, and I'm like, hey MSQ, you want to talk for a little bit? I want to hear what you have to say! You calm your mind. We're gonna listen. But you fail to hear her voice. Nothing this way. We try another route then. I thought they would do it out over the water. It seems like the most picturesque, right? Okay, here we go. You calm your mind. Why can't I fly? Are my functions being restricted? Hide. Yes, I'll just have to hide then, where no one can find me. Heads towards the water's edge. She went into the lake, as if this wasn't tiresome enough. Well, at least that open expanse should make her easier to find. We won't lose her this time. I'm like, any conversation points? It would totally disrupt the flow, but are there any? Discuss the water's edge. We should be able to reach the bottom of this drop by climbing down the rocks at the water's edge. Do not even think of dragging me over the falls. Final days or no, if I end up drenched from head to toe, I swear I will feed you to a remora. Oh, the indignation to drag my robe through the water. Hythlodius better not breathe a word of this to his Still, mild humiliation will be the least of our concerns if we fail to get our hands on Meteion. He said he didn't want to go down the falls, right? I go down the rocks, Emmett Selk. You're already doing a lot. I know we're already asking a lot of you. So I'm gonna just go ahead. Oh no! We'll take care of it real quick. I like that Emmett is just standing on top of it, giving me the judgmental side eye. Like, of course he is. Okay, this has to be it. This has to be it. I'm assuming it's just gonna be some message of doom, right? It has to just be. It's gonna be some really terrible, ominous thing. Not here. I'm not here. Please. Working together. By that rock, is she? Very well. There she is. What? Why can't I hide? There's no need to run, Meteion. Valka? What are you saying? Everything is so faint. I'm sorry. I'm not strong enough. Stay away. I'm begging you. Don't make me say it. It will break him. His poor, fragile heart. Meteion! Now we have a chance. Once the others are in position, the two of us can herd her into their midst. Okay. Try and get her over there. I mean, what would break his heart would be something like, I don't know, all life will die, or, you're the reason to blame for all of this, right? But we kind of get that it's not really his fault at this point. So, I mean, I imagine it's just because she doesn't want him to hear that there's a calamity that's gonna happen, you know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, nobody's gonna be happy about this, but sometimes bad things do happen, you know, and you have to accept them and figure out how to work through them. Suspicious disturbance. Wait, before we click on that, we're gonna do this conversation. I'm not missing out on a single conversation with them itself, so help me. Is this teleporter not in use? It seems to have been left to the mercy of the elements. Either way, it bears no trace of Meteion's essence. We must move on. You got anything else to say? Keep after Meteion. Hythlodius and I will coordinate our movements. That must lead somewhere. That seems like, for us to have a conversation about it, we must have to go there for some reason. Or it must take us somewhere important. There, I see her. This has been a real long chase sequence. I am in agony. I am in agony. Just let me know. Just let me know what she has to say. Are they gonna take us like all the way up this cliff? Oh, here, down by the water's edge. Is she here? Do we see her? We went in like one massive circle.
Aha! Give chase. We shall herd her into the shelter.
And there, set up some walls or something. Like a little pen just to keep her in it. His Hans! It makes me wonder then, the mount for this expansion, was it like a creation he made or something for his M? Because that would just tear at my heart. I know. Emmett Selk's piercing gaze, it looks right into your soul, doesn't it? Nowhere else to run now! My entire screenshot folder, pictures of Venat, Hythlodius, and Emmett Selk. That's it. That's my fate now. One picture of Hermes in there, because he also beautiful. You gotta face it. You gotta face it. My little babby.
Please, Meteion. We must speak.
Here it is at last. Took a long time. We got here though.
I'm sorry, Hermes. I'm so sorry. If someone can hear these words, then please.
Aww.
Please protect them. Protect them all.
Oh, I will. I hope I did.
Individual self-suspended. Connection with shared consciousness stable. Our survey is complete. We shall now report our findings.
I'm like on the edge of my seat. I feel like
All units safely arrived at their respective destinations. Seeking answers to Hermes' question, we attempted to make contact with the intelligent denizens of each star.
I'm like, my whole body feels like it's in a vice grip right now. I'm just like frozen.
Results are as follows, in order of numerical code. Enna. Traces of civilization found. Structures believed to have served as domiciles. No extant life forms detected.
Did they find all the planets that had been destroyed by whatever this thing was?
Dio. Ruined remnants of buildings scattered across Star, surface of which is encased in ice. Presence of life could not be verified.
Is like all other life in the universe destroyed except for the few
Evidence of
dragons that
large population
remained?
Centers, akin to cities, recovered. No extant life forms found. Only their lingering essence.
We're the last planet that has life on it?
Tessera. Edifices surmised to be abandoned residences found. No extant life forms detected. Deadly plague or extreme environmental degradation likely to have led to mass extinction.
Oh no. Oh no.
Dead.
Oh no, this is much worse than I thought.
Star found in state of violent conflict. Contact successfully made with inhabitants, but deployment of weapons of mass destruction resulted in total annihilation of local population shortly thereafter.
Oh.
Inaya. Star is a barren desert. No identifiable flora found. Bones of living beings resembling men discovered beneath sands, but determination regarding their intelligence inconclusive.
Okay, all this is so much happening and it's very bad, but I am also very excited that they are like straight up naming places and planets, right? Expanding our universe in a way we've never seen before.
Remind me, Hermes, what exactly was the question you entrusted to Meteion?
Is there other life out there?
I tasked her with asking what others live for. What gives their lives meaning.
But there's no lives here, so how do you know?
Did you consider what may happen if the premise of the question is flawed?
Oh. Is he saying that, like... Well, but it doesn't sound like they killed them, right? Right? Did they kill... Okay. Did they kill them to find out what the meaning of life was by, like... subjecting them to a trial or something of you know, like, what is the meaning of life? Can you only prove it by dying? Or, you know, like you would sell something in order to get the value of it? But it doesn't sound like they killed them. It sounds like they arrived on planets where this devastation had already occurred, right? They're not saying, like, I murdered a bunch of people.
To be able to answer it, one must be living and desire to continue doing so. But if Meteion finds no living beings in the course of her journey...
Yes, okay. I was gonna say, I was like, oh, it caused them great despair because of the question?
Or none who desire to live, what then? What answers would she derive from their silence?
Meteion, enough! Suspend your mission and return hither at once.
Decapente. Local civilization once flourished under auspices of higher power. Said power later laid waste to civilization in fit of rage. Upon revealing this to me, entity elected to self-terminate in lieu of providing answer to question. No other intelligent life forms found.
I mean, it feels incredibly coincidental, though, that they would find no planets where other entities were living, though, right? Something had to cause that. I mean,
deaf ear, are we?
It sounds like some of these places did bring about their own downfall, but...
We are taking Meteion back to Amarot. As I understand, we will need her if we are to bring back all of her sisters.
Yes.
I mean, they don't seem like they would be the ones that caused the final days, right? But did they?
Meteion.
Did they ask the question and the answer was there is no meaning in life or something?
Is it? It isn't right to turn away from the answer. Even if the answer is pain. Even if we aberrations must scream ourselves hoarse to be heard.
I'm just so captivated by this right now. It's hard to even like form thoughts while you're experiencing it, you know?
Aye. Whatever answers we find, I will not dismiss them out of hand. These words I said to you, and I will hold myself to them.
The beginning of that line, you could hear a little bit more of Fandaniel, and at the end, you could hear more of Hermes. Such a subtle shift. Whoa! Whoa!
What is the meaning of this?
His form is so cool! But why is he doing this?
You cannot take Meteion. Not until she has finished her report.
What do you mean? Hermes! If you made something that has the capacity to cause incredible harm because of how you made it, right? We don't know what this connection is here yet. We don't know. We don't know if Meteion is connected to what is happening in the sense that, like, they are causing it, or if they are the ones that sense what's happened, or they are the ones who figure it out, right? They could be the key or they could be the destruction, but you're not just like, yeah, it turns out that their information is really a bummer, but we're just gonna let them keep going, even though we know that on this course, supposedly, our world ends. I mean, we've seen that little bit of darkness in him, so I mean, I guess you can see where it comes from, but it makes me want to yell at him. Even though he's even more beautiful like this. Is this a trial? Maybe it's a trial. No, he's flying away. He's booking out too soon. But you can see now why he would have almost made them in his own image, right?
You fool!
This is deeply worrying. This... This is really not so good. Here, everything that's happened and the poor decisions that have been made here. Hythlodius is like deep in thought, just like, oh, dang, me too, Hythlodius. I apologize, everybody, if I go quiet during the cutscenes, but as you all, I'm sure, well know, some of these cutscenes are so incredible that I'm just like, I don't even want to say a word during that. I want to just let this happen, because I say plenty of other words otherwise. If all Hermes means to do is listen to Meteion's report, then it is his right to do so. But once he receives the answers to his question, what then? The fate of the world may very well hinge upon the choice he makes in that moment, and we must be there when he makes it. Why, Hermes? Why could you not leave well enough alone? Will these answers assuage the pain you feel when a creation is returned to ether? Had you never cast your accursed question to the distant stars, you may have one day learned to be at peace upon this one. I mean, it's true. It's like he, in a sense, rather than actually look for the answers, rather than really confront those harsh truths and find a way to examine them and make sense of them and make peace with them, or to make actual change in the world that he was on. You know what I mean? It's like, rather than trying to really examine it and really not shy away from it, to embrace that to some degree, and then if he really felt like this was the wrong path to make change, I mean, I guess you could say him putting stuff out there into the universe was part of his effort to collect data to maybe argue his point to everybody else, right? But it really does seem like he was looking outside for some answer that he himself didn't want to grapple with, I guess. That, like, he couldn't bear to face in his own world, and so he just, like, made all these other, you know, creations to go out and seek out the answers on his own behalf. Do you understand why Hermes would do this? His logic escapes me entirely. Well, I just was reasoning it out, Emmett Selk, so... I mean, it could just be that he thought, you know, maybe I am just... Again, right? He thought maybe I am just the only one to feel this way. But then he thought maybe there are others outside of my own world that do, and reached out. I think it's a complex thing. I think it's probably a lot of everything. Running away from something, refusing to actually accept the burden or responsibility for what you do in the world. Maybe not even making an active enough connection to truly reach out to the people in his own world to learn whether or not they did struggle with the same, right? It's very easy on appearances to assume that nobody else feels how you feel. But you can't actually know that unless you make an effort to really, truly understand them. You know what I mean? So I can see a lot of complex facets to this, I guess. Pondering what to do next, Hermes has headed to Katisis. Considering the expansive dimensions of the place, even we may have a difficult time locating his ether. All I can say is that he entered from the rooftop and likely arrived at the uppermost point of the facility. So, do we pursue him? Of course we pursue him. No matter what Hermes might be thinking, Meteion is a potential threat that needs to be brought under our control. The Convocation's duty is to safeguard this star, and it takes precedence over any personal stake in the matter. Venat, Valka? 'Tis clear we stand on a precipice, but we have yet to determine beyond a shadow of a doubt that Meteion's is the hand which tips us over the edge. Nevertheless, if we are to learn the truth of the final days, we must give chase. And even if neither Hermes nor Meteion is ultimately responsible, we cannot leave them to suffer this torment alone. Agreed on all counts. To Katisis, Hyperborea we go.